أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Last week I came across this and quite a lot of people they were inquiring. Now basically we all know most of the stuff, but the terminology sometimes we make a mess in understanding it. For example, when we say Tashahhud, it's that second part of the prayer, second rakat, where you sit down and you recite Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This is Tashahhud. So when I say Salaam of the prayer, Salaam, it's that Salam with which you bring the Salat to an end. That is, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillah as-salihin. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. So when Tashahhud is said, it's only that first half. So Tashahhud is recited in the second rakat and in the fourth rakat and in the third rakat. So if it's a Maghrib prayer, so it's going to be a Tashahhud in the second, another Tashahhud in the third, and then a Salam to conclude the prayer. So that's the definition, the terminology. Tashahhud, it's only that part with the salawat, without the Salam. And also in the Tashahhud, that salawat, it's wajib. If someone recites the Tashahhud, forgets the salawat, ends the prayer with a Salam, that namaz will be batil, because salawat was missing in the Tashahhud. So salawat in the Tashahhud is an integral part of that Tashahhud, without which that namaz also it's incomplete. That is one. Secondly, every surah that we recite in the prayers, it has to have the Bismillah. Now the other schools of thought, they recite surahs without the Bismillah, and also they recite surahs halfway. They don't recite the complete surah. In our fiqh, you have to recite Hamd and a surah. So Al-Hamd is wajib in every rakat. That's the first and the second. Now the second surah, it's optional. You can recite any surah you want. So whichever surah you recite, it has to have that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Without Bismillah, if someone recites a surah, that will also be incomplete. Some surahs we are not allowed to recite in prayers. It's those surahs that have a wajib sajda. In addition to this, we have 4 surahs in Quran. Now these 4 surahs, if you want to recite them in your prayers, for example, you are offering your Maghrib prayers, and now you've recited Suratul Hamd, and now you want to recite Suratul Fil. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil wa arsala alayhim tayran ababil tarmihim bi hijaratin min sijil wa ja'alahum ka'asfin ma'kul. So this was the surah. But if I want to recite this surah in the namaz, according to the fatwa of all of the mujtahideen, I cannot. This Suratul Fil, which is surah number 105, is part of surah number 106, which is Suratul Quraysh. So if I wish to recite Suratul Fil in my prayers, so I'll recite Suratul Hamd, then I recite Suratul Fil, and also I will recite Suratul Quraysh. So there's 2 surahs, Fil and Quraysh, combined with 2 Bismillahs will be counted as 1 surah. That's one. And also Suratul Duha, wal Duha wal Layli idha saja. which is Surah number 93. If you intend to recite that in your prayers, that also it's going to be incomplete. So with Wadduha, you will have to recite Surah number 94, which is Surat Inshirah, Alam Nashrah Laka Sadrak. So those two surahs, Surah 93 and 94, together they form one surah with two Bismillahs plus that Suratul Hamd that you recited. So if you want to pick one of these surahs, that is Suratul Fil, Quraysh, Duha or Inshirah, if you want to recite these surahs in your prayers, you have to be careful. If it is Fil, it has to be with Quraysh. If it is Duha, it must be with Inshirah. If someone doesn't do that, then his recitation also will be incomplete. That is another masala. I hope it's clear. Okay, so Suratul Fil and Quraysh together, Duha and Inshirah also together. That is one. The other thing is that one of the very important tasks that we have assigned to the Muslims is Salaam. That is, you greet one another with Salaam. You end the Salat also with a Salaam. And in Quran, loads of ayat are there, and you see on numerous occasions, Allah He has sent Salam to so many prophets. Salamun ala Ilyasin, Salamun ala Nuh fil alameen, Salamun ala Lut. So many prophets Allah Ta'ala He has sent Salam to. Now if someone greets you with the Salam, it is the person who has greeted you with Salam, he gets 69 hasanat. Some riwayat say 99 hasanat. And the one who has to reply, he gets only one hasana. And at the same time, it is wajib that he replies. And if he does not reply, he has committed a sin. So that is regarding Salam also. That is, Salam is that important. And also Salam is the name of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. If someone comes and greets you with the Salam whilst you were offering your prayers, first of all, it's makruh for someone to come and greet someone who is in his prayers. Now, if someone does come and greet me, so I also have to reply him back even though I'm offering my prayers. So how do I reply? Whatever he says, whichever format he uses, he comes and says Assalamu alaik, or says Salamun alaikum, or Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullah. So whichever salam he uses, in reply that you who is offering the prayers, you would say Salamun alaikum. That's it. You don't say Alaikas salam or Assalam. No, Salamun alaikum. However he wants to greet to you, you will say Salamun alaikum in your prayers. If there's someone else around, then he greets him. If there's no one around, or someone comes in and says Aghay Farrukh Salamun alaikum, so it is wajib on him that he replies, although he may be offering his prayers. Now, sometimes people, they come and say that you are going to meet someone, say my salams to him. So this say my salams to him also is an amana, a trust which needs to be delivered. So if I don't deliver it, I have tampered that amana. So that also is, if you see, you've got so many riwayat, or for example, you recite on Friday, فَبَلِّغْهُ مِنَّا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا, that Allah sent to him my salam, تَحِيَّةً مِنَّا, بَلِّغْهُ مِنَّا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا. Now, in one of these meetings, Salman, he meets two of his companions. They meet Salman. Salman says to them that you owe me something. They said, we don't. Says, yeah, there is an amanat on your neck which you haven't paid me, you haven't delivered it to me. They say, but we don't owe anything to you. He says, are you not coming from that place? They said, yes. He says, did they not give a salam for me via you? They said, yes. He said, that was an amana that was upon you, that you have to deliver that salam from whoever it is, and to whoever it is, that has to be delivered, has to be said. Now, even when we see that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he ascends to the heavens on the eve of Mi'raj, There, Rasulullah, he was returning to the earth. He says to Jibreel, all right, I'm going back. Do you need something? Do you have anything to do? Any message to be delivered? He says, yes, I have a message to deliver on the earth if you could do that. Says, what is that message? Say, my salam to Hazrat Khadija alayha salam. I want you to greet her and deliver this my salam to Khadija. Comes and delivers the salam of Jibreel, and in reply Hazrat Khadija alayha salam says, huwa salam. Minhu salam wa ilayhi ya'udu salam. That is, He, the Almighty, is salam. From Him comes then ascends the salam. And all these salams also they return back to the existence of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So it is the name of Allah, and it brings about well-being, greeting someone. But now, even in this Sharia of ours, there are certain people you shouldn't be greeting. Say someone who is a drunkard, who is drunk, who drinks, don't greet him. Someone who lives on jewelry, sood satta, on uh, you don't greet him. Someone who's a gambler, you don't go and say assalamu alaikum. No. Someone who's a gambler, you don't greet him. No salam. Someone who's in the washroom, in the toilet, you don't greet him. Someone who swears, has a bad mouth, you don't greet him with the salam. Or someone who is in a funeral. In funerals also, you don't go and do and greet people. No, just participate in the funeral. Don't greet another. Now, if someone greets you, doesn't mean that it's you must not reply. You have to reply back to that salam. It's wajib. But you, as someone who's participating in that funeral, don't greet. So these are, and someone who's reciting azan, don't go and greet him. He's busy with the azan, you don't greet him. Someone offering prayers, don't greet him. If you go to someone's house, there you greet. You say Salamun Alaikum loud, so that people they know that you are at the door. And if there's any non-mahram around, she also covers herself. Now this is the adab that is taught to us by Islam. Now prior to Islam, the era of Jahiliyyah, they just used to walk in without knocking the door, without saying salam to anyone. Here the ayah was revealed, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tadkhulu buyutan ghayra buyutikum. That is, O you who believe, do not enter the houses but your houses. And if you do enter, fasallimu, that is, you greet them with the salam. وَتُسَلِّمُوا عَلَىٰ أَهْلِهَا ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. That is, you greet them with the salam, that is good for you. Now, if you go to a place and there isn't anyone there, so here the teaching is that you greet yourself. You say that فَسَلِّمُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ. You just enter and you say Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. That is, salam be upon us and upon the sincere servants of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So these are some of the adab that we have for someone who greets. And there is a hadith also here. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he comes to Masjid al-Haram, and there he sees that shaitan is there, Iblis is there, and Iblis is furious. Rasulullah says, why do I find you so terrified? Iblis says that I'm terrified because of you and your nation. Now Rasulullah says, now what did my nation do? He says that these teachings that you have, no matter how hard I work, after a certain time I see that I'm back to square one. Says that you've taught your nation to greet one another with the salam, and salam is the name of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So when they greet with the salam, in reply they also have to reply back, and it's wajib. They also, when they say Salamun Alaikum, mentions the name of Allah, and because of that name, they are forgiven, and Allah's mercy descends upon the two. You've taught your people that when you come across one another, you shake hands with them, musafaha, and as long as the hand of this Muslim is in the hand of the other Muslim, Allah's mercy descends and they are forgiven. You've taught your nation to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim prior to having a meal, and that Bismillah, it gives positive energy, as a result of which, as long as that food remains in their belly, they are safe and protected from haram. So all these very simple tips that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa wasallam has taught. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.